A lot of people have been asking me, and I've been doing a couple of interviews out there, and they think that I'm a science fiction author, and that's actually I'm far away from. I'm not a science fiction author. I'm an author, and I'm a person who wants to know the truth of our existence. That's all. Ever since my childhood, I've been, just wondering who the hell are we? What is these protons and electrons in our body, and what is this DNA that we have, and what the hell is the purpose of this body, this suit that we have? Why are we here? What the hell is this universe? Why was it even created? Why does anything exist? And it bothered me all the way till when I took this trip to Las Vegas. And I was going alone. Like I love taking trips alone. So I was going in the night, and suddenly in the sky I looked, and there were the brightest stars possible. So I had to stop my car on the side. And when I stopped, and I just looked up, there was a full moon night. And that's when the thought came into my head. And this was back in 2001 or 2, I think. The thought came in, and I said, why is that I don't see the other side of the moon? Why the hell do I always see the other, same side of the moon? What is going on? At that time, there was no Google. There was Google, but it's just, I wasn't able to research as much. So I just left the thought within me, until the internet became, really profound and with a lot of information. And that's when I researched that, why is the moon, we only see the one side of the moon, and all these other physicists and, the people who were desperate to get their PhD, they were supposed to follow these guidelines and rules. So the board who was giving them the PhD won't think of them as lunatics. And they say that the moon is locked in with the earth through its magnetic force. Then why is it that every other moon out there is rotating on its axis and around the planet? And the planet is going around the sun. And that's when I researched and I found out that, first of all, the moon wasn't even here naturally. It was planted. And once I found all these informations out, I'm like, okay, I'm into writing a lot of novels, screenplays, and I'm making all these movies. Why don't I just use this talent of mine to create this story about our universe in a novel format? And that is when, after all these thoughts that were rattling within me, and I looked at my life, that how I wanted to become a film director and script writer, and yet it wasn't going anywhere. And that's when, it just clicked to me about Kyirux, the Message of Pascal. I'm like, I wanted to create a book because I was looking for something. I'm like, is there a movie, is there a book that can really give the answer? Really give the profound, simplistic answer about everything? And 2001 Space Odyssey is a movie in its own. It doesn't give you the ultimate answer. It just gives you a small piece of the puzzle. But I wanted to create a book that just tells you what is everything. And once I went on this writing spree, God, I couldn't even tell you the nights that how many nights I didn't sleep when I had the ideas going. I've been typing, going. And next thing you know, I wrote so much, and I'm like, I'm going to have to turn this into 2 parts. But once I wrote Kyirux, the Message of Pascal, I left the other parts alone, and until I took up Kundalini Meditation. Once I took up Kundalini Meditation, it completely changed my life. Whatever I wanted to think about, whatever I had, the questions that I had within me about certain things, suddenly they became they started becoming more visualized in my meditation. And that's when I kind of learned about the Anunnakis. That's when I kind of learned about the moon, what exactly it is, and other planets, and what other civilizations might be out there. So I created the part 2 and 3, and part 3 I'm currently writing. But I just wanted to tell you guys that Kyirux the Messenger, I'm not a science fiction author. I'm just a person looking for answers. And I know there's millions of you out there looking for answers. And I'm like, what? Like every good entrepreneur says, and every, big self-made person said, that if there's not something out there in the world, that people need and you need, why don't you go create it? So this is why I wrote this. This is why, because I wanted to just turn this passion of mine of writing screenplays and making movies as a profession, and I saw writing novels as the avenue, and my God, it has worked out so far, and I'm loving the ride. But I just created something that I wanted to read. So I know that's why there's going to be many more who want to read this. And this is why I want to thank you, all of you who have, read the book, loved the book, criticized the book, hated the book, but you had that passion to get the information, get the knowledge, and this is why I put so much information on my website. I always research about these things, and I keep putting articles out on my website because this is my life purpose. This is my passion. Especially when I read this book by Dan Millman about Know Your Ultimate Path. It was about numerology, and then when I read the whole, because I'm into astrology and numerology, and when I read what he said about me, and I just knew that it just happened recently. I knew this is my path, to find the truth, to find the truth, and to help people find what I have discovered.